All right, it is 7:37, 14 degrees outside. Glad you're with us. You know, according to Wikipedia, Women's History Month is the month celebrated each year globally where we celebrate the contributions of women to events in history and contemporary society. Well, we want to jump to our WELW live line. Dr. Tracy Wilen is joining us, and we're going to talk a little bit about 10 trends why this year will be a breakout year for women and their careers. Of course, we want to match this up with Women's History Month. So thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So, let's jump right into the questions. Trend number one, I like this. So, Shark Tank is a popular U.S. TV show. I watch it, right? I mean, it's fun. That showcases a growing trend in the U.S. towards entrepreneurship. Are you finding women participating in this movement?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, many women used to say Shark Tank is the new happy hour on Friday nights. It's too bad they switched the nights that it's on. But yes, women-owned businesses actually present the fastest-growing segment in the United States economy. In fact, women-owned businesses are growing twice as fast as male-owned businesses. And, American Express last year counted how many women started businesses, and they found it was 200,000. And so I calculated that out, and it's about 550 per day, which is about 23 per hour. So it's pretty incredible. Women are participating in the entrepreneur. And a lot of it is because thanks to the media for popularizing it, technology, giving us more opportunities to start business and capital becoming more accessible. So it's exciting.
It'll be interesting to see of the 200,000 businesses that are started next year, how many are still in business, to see that women have the initiative. But is there that glass ceiling in business where women can start a business, but they're not going to be the CEO of corporations? Is that glass ceiling starting to crack?
Well, you're covering a complex area here. So one is, will women businesses survive? And private equity and VCs feel that investing in a women-led business performs better than men-led businesses. So to answer your first question, to your second question, I think it's important that we look at the firms that are being highlighted about glass ceiling. 52% of Americans actually don't work for large firms. Yet we hear about the Fortune 500 firms in those statistics, right? So you have 52% of Americans actually working for non-large firms, which is medium, small, self-employed, and startups. And the numbers are a little different there. So I think we have to be careful to generalize. Do I think it is cracking? Absolutely. I see velocity. And let me just give you some examples. Just since year 2000, the velocity of women CEOs such as Meg Whitman at HP, and remember, she ran for governor of California and also ran eBay. Ginny Rometty, CEO of IBM, Marissa Mayer, CEO of Yahoo, Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, and up-and-coming Susan Story, CEO of Waterworks. So what I see the trend is more velocity happening, and I think we always have to keep that in mind, that real trends, current trends, and what's happening now.
Now, you note that young firms as leadership opportunities for women. You got into small and medium-sized firms. And for some of us out there, can you help us break this down? I mean, can you explain that to us a little bit?
Absolutely. So the National Bureau of Economic Research found in their research that it's really the younger firms, which are your firms 5 years or under, that are creating more jobs, regardless of size. And I've experienced that myself. I live in Silicon Valley and joined Cisco Systems when it was quite young, and it really accelerated job and opportunities. The same pattern happened with a Google, the same pattern with a Facebook. So what the encouragement is that I give women is look at all your options. Many of us were raised to say either you worked in the public sector, right, for the government or as a teacher, or for a large company, a big branded company. But the reality is there's so many more opportunities out there, and small firms, fast-growing firms, medium-sized firms are all part of that picture today.
Oh, very good.
If a young girl was going to college, a high school senior heading to college today, you're very successful, you're very knowledgeable. What areas of study, instead of liberal arts, where should they concentrate so when they graduate, there's a job market for them?
Yes, and I think that's a really good question, because I think colleges really do need to be a little more synchronized with the workplace, and so that our students really participate as soon as they graduate in the workforce. What I encourage young people today is think about what they like to do and what they're good at. Join those clubs, right? Make sure that you're exploring while you're in college, but then look at the companies that excite you. So a lot of students tell me, I get so excited by Apple and Facebook and Google. And I tell them, use your social media contacts, find people, go to the websites, understand what the jobs are at these companies so that you can understand, and talk to people there. What classes should I take if I want to be in marketing at Facebook? What classes should I take if I want to be in HR at Apple? How do I become a gamer, right? And the reality is we need to start connecting the dots for young people of what their dream job is with the reality of what kind of credentials and requirements need to get there.
It's interesting. Everybody, a lot of people, and I should say a lot of wives probably feel this way about their husband as they think, a boy and his toys, guys are into gadgets, guys play with their iPads and their Apples and all that. There's just this conception, if you will, or maybe a misconception, that it's guys who are into the techie things. Now, you note that women use technology. So are women, tech heads, if you will?
Oh, absolutely. The Pew Research showed that women are actually fast adopters of technology, particularly, and I think this is important, people adopt technology that they find useful, and women are faster adopters of mobile devices, social media, online shopping. In fact, they even they're high influences of consumer electronic purchasing. And I think this is important because the Electronic Association noticed that 70% of jobs by 2020 will have a technology component. And a lot of it involves mobile devices, social media. And I think women sort of sense this, and they're migrating towards the technology and using it in the exact areas where the market is going. So I do think that women are tech heads. They may not be fixing the car, but then again, do we really fix cars anymore?
We're buying the cars. Women are buying the cars. We don't have to fix them. We're buying them.
That's right. We push a button and then we bring it in, and somebody else does it. That's right.
Too. Again, let's go back to high school girls. They always do polls. Who do you admire most? And it comes out Lady Gaga, Madonna, and they lead their fields. But if you were in the class, who would you tell young women to be looking at as not role models, but they made it in their life and they made their life successful? Who would you point to?
That's a really interesting question, Ellen, because I had asked women leaders about their role models, and a lot of them pointed to Hillary Clinton, Condoleezza Rice, Margaret Thatcher, a lot of political women as well as entertainment, Oprah. Lady Gaga, Madonna didn't come up on that one. Interesting enough, most women pointed to their mothers. And I'll tell you why, because years ago, women couldn't look at their mothers in beyond the home for guidance. But today, in over 200 interviews, mom was mentioned 702 times to me, because women are role modeling after their mothers because they see them in the home, they see them in the workforce, they see them accomplishing a lot of things, and also at the same time giving them confidence. So I think there's a lot of role models in your neighborhood, in your house, in your family, and I would encourage people to look at people who really stand out to them and follow their paths.
When it comes to marketing, is this a she-based economy? I mean, are all the marketers out there, the ones devising all the campaigns, are they looking at women now more than men?
Oh, yeah. We just mentioned about women buying cars. Women actually influence 85% of all purchases.
Wow.
And marketing is changing, and I think that's what's important to note is the social media, right? It's all about social to sale. It's about likes and clicks and photos and tweets. Guess what? That's where the women marketing firms are emerging. But quite frankly, I think the best marketer example was this week at the Oscars with Ellen and the selfie for Samsung. It was somewhat planned, but not really. She really was an excellent example of someone marketing right in the limelight.
Yeah, but you know who has the rights to that picture, technically, legally? Bradley Cooper. It was his camera. It's true. It's true.
Well, real quick, you do state that women are smart cookies, and we've heard that you're smart. What do you mean by that? And why? What does that mean, and why is that important?
Yeah, so I think it is very important because the growing trend is that women are becoming more educated than men. And for every 100 men who graduate college, there will be 140 women graduating. And women have earned 10 million more college degrees than men since 1982. And it's all degrees, right? We're talking about associate's degree, we're talking bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and doctor's degree. So if you look at two things, employment and salary, right? The more, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics, right, they show these charts that people who are educated are more likely to be employed than people who are uneducated, and people who are educated are more likely to have increased salaries than people who don't, and that increases with the level of education. So women sense this, they've absorbed this, and they're moving in that direction because in the future the jobs are going to be very complex. They're already complex today and require educated and skilled people. And I think that's, women are looking at the head target and saying, that's where I need to be because that's where the future work is going.
Well, 2014, you say, is the breakout year for women. We're early in 2014. So you say things are looking up for us?
I do. I think we've already seen a lot of trends. I think that we've seen the Olympics, more women than men attending the UK, a woman winning the most Olympics at Sochi. I think the Congress, this would be a very interesting year with the election. We have more women in 2012 elected into the Congress than previous years. I see velocity of women CEOs, excuse me, a lot of it happening in 2014. And I think with the women entrepreneurs and small business owners are high growth areas. So I think this is a big year. Oh, and in finance, of course, Janet Yellen and Mary Mack for Wells Fargo. Yeah. So I think it's an exciting year.
For more information, people can go to your website at TracyWilen.com, WILEN. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor. We appreciate the time and the information.
Thank you for having me.